And I'm Emma, and I'm a second year civil engineering student also at Imperial College London. So our project is based in a town called Chankola, which is just here in Tanzania. So the current situation in Chankola is firewood is their main source of energy that they use for cooking, but it's actually really unsustainable. We found that there were people walking for up to 4 hours a day in order to go and collect firewood, and a similar distance to go and collect water. This is causing the spread of the desert, which is a process called desertification in the area. And increasingly the distance between people's homes and the firewood collection point is just increasing. So we really wanted to use our engineering skill set and try and come up with a solution to this problem. So we believe biogas is a potential solution. It takes two inputs. So one is manure, so we can use cow manure, and another is water, and wastewater can be used. And these are put then into a digester that we can help build, and then there are two outputs. So the biogas can be collected into balloons and can be used for cooking, and another is this bio-slurry that can be used to put on crops to help them grow better. So last year, 4 of us from Imperial College London visited Tanzania to assess the viability of the project. We think it's really important to go to the place, to meet the people, before any significant investment is placed. Because there are a lot of cultural differences between a British society and a Tanzanian society, and those are what we wanted to identify on the trip. So we spent the first week meeting with a local charity and asking them questions about the project. They are a development charity. They don't do biogas, but they have a wealth of knowledge which is really important to ask lots of questions. And then we spent the second week actually staying with Father Domi here, who is a priest in Chankola. It's really important to stay with a respectful member of the community, and he put us in touch with a large variety of farmers, and we then conducted needs assessments and interest assessments with those farmers. We then interviewed a number of potential entrepreneurs that we could partner with, and these came from a variety of backgrounds. We had a head teacher, we had an albino school leader, we had small holding farmers, and we also had like business scale farmers as well. So we found it was really important to make sure that the people in Chankola actually wanted biogas. There is no point us thinking that this is a bright idea and going in and giving it to them if they don't want it, otherwise we'll find it's going to be unused. Also, we really want to partner with them to build the project together, because then they understand how biogas works, so they can fix it themselves. So if it gets broken, we're not in London trying to help them, they understand how it works themselves. And also, biogas could potentially be flammable, and so we really wanted to educate them on how it can be used safely. So we visited 2 biogas plants while we were there. The first one was being used by a large number of school students and was actually taking human waste as an input. And the second one we visited was being used by a family size scale. So we saw that it actually works on both scales, which was really encouraging.
So, the key findings of our trip are that overall everyone was very keen on the idea of biogas. Everyone agreed that there's a fairly urgent need for a new energy source because firewood is not sustainable and it's very expensive. The high number of farmers in the area meant that there's a large availability of cow manure, and currently it's not being used for anything. And also there's sufficient wastewater. So biogas seems like a very feasible energy source. And we did discuss the possibility of using human waste, because obviously that's got to go somewhere. But people were more reluctant regarding this. They weren't quite so sure about it. And we decided, seeing as there was so much cow manure available, then this was more of a riskier approach that we really didn't need to follow at the moment. But 2 of the things that we didn't expect so much to find is that they were really keen on the idea of biogas, but they wanted to have a lot of training. They didn't quite trust the technology at first. And they wanted the training to come from people who were obviously experienced and knew what they were doing. So that's one of the things they asked for. And also in Tanzania, there's a huge lack of capital, and to get funds and kind of funding for this project, they would need a huge amount of loans from the government, and that comes at a high interest rate, so it's just not feasible for them, which is where we came in. So the average monthly salary of someone in Tanzania is about 50,000 Tanzanian shillings, and then to put that into context, one household can use 3 bundles of firewood a day, costing up to 3,000. So this is a significant amount of their monthly income. And then on top of this, if we were to build a biogas tank over in Tanzania, it would cost about $2,500 US, and that would provide biogas for about 40 people. So our solution and business model involves one biogas digester, and then on top of this, biogas stoves, so you can use the biogas and transport bags. Fortunately, both of these are readily available from places nearby in Africa, and they're professionally sourced, so that really reduces the risk associated with us and with risk using methane gas. And so we chose on our trip one key local entrepreneur who owned the biogas digester, and it would be situated on their land. So they would be responsible for running it and for providing all the cow manure and the water. And they would then sell biogas to locals, and they'd be incentivized to carry on maintaining this biogas digester because they'd be able to make some profit from the selling of the biogas, while we would also take in the rest of the earnings, so we would be able to get the return on the project and further invest. This shares the accountability and the risk of it, although obviously there's disadvantages. We are reliant on one person, but this does mean all communications are streamlined, so it's much easier for us to maintain our relationship with the project.
Yeah, so there are 3 conclusions that we found. We identified a key entrepreneur on the trip. We are now sourcing the materials that we need to build a biogas digester, and requiring the capital that we need in order to start the investment. But what we really want to take as a point from our presentation is that biogas actually doesn't solve all the problems. It isn't a perfect solution, but we don't believe that there is a perfect solution for Choma Chankula. And actually, it's a process of us working and trying to improve the situation there, and it's more of a stepping stone towards making Choma Chankula a sustainable community. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll be happy to take any questions.
Very admirable, right? Trying to go to this area to this project. Technology-wise, it's very, very mature. The issue is how do you implement this technology. Any comment, any questions, suggestions for the young entrepreneurs? Questions? Yes.
So my mind was running around, I come from around the same area, I come from Uganda, and my mind was running around what the professor said in the morning about scalability. So when you look at just picking one entrepreneur, how about thinking about schools or something like that? Because the school would give it a bigger publicity, and it would help you to kind of roll it out to other entrepreneurs. How are you balancing this?
So that's something we definitely looked at first because we wanted to have the highest impact. But with if it was associated with a school, then there's less profit associated with that because it would essentially be a free source, and also we'd have to obtain the cow manure. So by implementing this kind of business model, first of all, we build up the trust, show that it is worth it, and by having ownership of the first model, we'd have people in the community who are already educated, so then they're more likely to share their expertise with the school, where there would be no one person responsible for it. But yeah, that's definitely something that we're interested in further.
Because where I was going with the school idea is because perhaps they have, say, more cow manure than one person or something like that.
So in Choma Chankula, it's such a rural area and it is just farms. So we found that the availability of cow manure wasn't a problem.
Any other questions?
I have a question to how you actually make it happen. Is it only price by the locals? Have you kind of engaged that side of the
Yeah, so we actually found that, the one that was shown, if you go back a couple of slides, this one here was just built by a family already living there, that you can actually quite easily access concrete, which surprised us a lot, because this felt like in the middle of nowhere in Tanzania, but they still had the availability to make concrete. which is really good news. And the concrete design is generally more durable, so we think that this could last probably 10 to 15 years, whereas we looked at some other designs made of plastic that would be easier to import, but their life would only be about 3 years. So since the concrete is available, we think it would be better.
What we found is that they're really good at making concrete tanks to store water, but they never saw any reason as to why they'd store ammonia in it. So it's just kind of adapting their design that they're using already.
Is the climate issue the winter can continue to produce the gas?
Yeah, it never gets that.
Winter is never get that.
Yeah, it's good.
So how about alternative solution? Why solar is not a viable alternative?
Initial investment's too high.
Investment.
And it doesn't involve the people of the community as much.
You have a question there?
Hi, I was wondering, how do you actually transport this gas? How long is the journey for transportation?
Yeah, so it can be captured into balloons, and these balloons can then just be taken to people's homes, and you can just connect it up to a stove and carry on cooking. Yeah, it's very, we can buy the balloons from,
So the balloons are readily available in Kenya, and it's easy to transfer them to Tanzania. And they're about this big. Obviously, they're full of gas, so they're really light, and people are happy to take them on the back of their bicycles.
Quite safe.
Yes. Because obviously safety was one of our biggest concerns, but like it's used like for carrying all local work.
Sorry, we just walked in. I just saw the microfinance system. I was wondering if you could elaborate a bit on that.
So the idea is that we partner together with a local entrepreneur, and so we didn't want to just give them a project and then, like I found before that if you just give them a project and it's all free, then they don't really have ownership over it. So we want to have a joint initial investment, but we're very aware of the fact that they don't have capital. So it will be a much smaller investment from the Tanzanian, and then hopefully they pay us back as they get to sell the biogas for themselves. So they're earning money, but then after a certain number of years, they will own it outright, and then they can continue to make money themselves.
And so we can scale up the project, so it still affects as many people as possible. But obviously, we've got the initial cost of the biogas scopes, so people need the fertilizer for that.
Yes.
I just want to inquire who would be your target market for the project and how would you sustain the business given your existing supply chain?
So the target market is the farmers and like the local residents in the rural village of Chomatonkola who are currently having to walk 4 hours to go and collect firewood. And I mean, the supply chain is really that we work with an entrepreneur. So potentially Father Domi, who we stayed with the priest, he's really respectful in the community, and so we're thinking about making the first initial investment with him, and then and then he sells it to the people who live nearby him, basically. And then when we get the money back from him, we can build another digester with someone else in the community, and so we'll slowly be affecting more people.
And we're in communication with the teachers in that area, so and they're interested in bringing biogas into their curriculum so they can learn more about it, and so then they can give them feedback into the community from their end.
So in terms of sustainability of the business, you are transferring that technology to the farmers, you're selling the technology, and then they are farmers, so they have cows, and from the manure there will be self-sustaining. They will be the one operating that business proposition.
Because they can build the tanks fine. It's just the idea of the biogas technology and adapting stoves to use it, which was the problem.
So what's in for you regarding that problem? How do you make money out of it?
Oh, so we've got a contract with the local entrepreneur, and so some of the profit goes to them and some of the profit goes to us. And because they are very aware that we're interested in expanding the project, that means they're incentivized to keep us in the loop.
So this is still in the design phase, yeah? This is design phase, so we need to build a minimum viable business product to test all the suggestions, all the ideas, whether it works. We can compute the cost, compute the profit, and so on. So the lesson is to build a minimum viable product.